Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity post on the Korean site. So, art technician, character creation. As with most game development projects, the Mabinogi Eternity project was especially in dire need of professional technicians in each field. How are existing art resources rendered within the engine? What should I do to bring this to the new engine? There are always many different types of costumes and hair in Mabinogi. What should I do to make this movement more natural? I really wanted to do it when I went to the new engine, but is it possible to express all the things that could not be expressed due to the wall of an old engine? Because we needed people to give us answers to all of this, generally the problem is solved through collaboration between artists and programmers. In order to develop more quickly and reliably, we had to reduce the depth of communication. So we quickly began recruiting experts, art technicians with technical knowledge and experience, and artists in various fields such as character and background models, animation effects, and UI. We hired a technical artist to handle graphics within the new engine, such as shader development and optimization. When it comes to shader porting, shouldn't we just look at the code and import it? It is certainly true that you can look at the code, understand its structure, and import it in a form suitable for Unreal Engine, but the problem was that the code was very fragmented. Of course, just looking at the resource structure and final rendering result, I could see how the shader was built. But what was important to us was not analogy, but accurate calculation. Even if the calculation is slightly wrong, a completely different result will be output. I recreated the art resource production process and began to analyze the database and rendering related codes one by one. I was able to piece together all the meaningful information one by one. As a result, and we have this video here, so this is the result. Neo uploaded to Unreal Engine to commemorate the success of Pleon shader porting. But it doesn't end here. As I was enjoying the joy of completing a successful shader port, I heard countless voices. So, when we get the light, it starts to sparkle, right? We can just set up the light when we take a screenshot, right? Right now, some outlines come out and some don't. Is everything coming out now? The color of the outline is also just showing off the dye color. My hair is sticking out through my clothes. Are you going to fix this too? Is my hair blowing in the wind now? Of course, it was just the beginning. What was fortunate, though, was that we had invited experts in each field. Please allow character shaders to respond to various light sources. You may be wondering how obvious this is. When using Unreal Engine, it is natural for 3D models to react to various light sources. The Eternity project inherits the flat yet unique colors of the current Mabinogi, while at the same time, the goal is to be able to interact with the variety of light sources. However, it is difficult to achieve both purposes simultaneously with the basic shading model provided by Unreal Engine. We created a custom shading model by modifying the engine code. By removing the fine surface bidirectional distribution function and modifying it to adjust the amount and color of light hitting the surface, a cartoon-like expression is possible. It was tuned to be affected by various fixed and dynamic light sources and provided to character shader creators. Simply put, if you only use the basic shading model provided by Unreal, you can lose Mabinogi's unique style with truly realistic light expressions. Unable to react to different light sources or only see the results of one or the other. There are many different solutions to this, but we chose to create a shading model unique to Mabinogi. And here you can see the default lit and the unlit. Good, now draw the outline too. Because the outline can give a completely different impression depending on its presence or absence, it is an element that can visually separate the background and the character. This is an element that would be disappointing if it were left out in a cartoon-style shader. As such, research is being conducted in a variety of ways. In the case of Mabinogi, a very thin outline is used. Due to engine limitations, it may be missing in areas where application is difficult due to translucent objects or some compatibility issues. There are many side effects, so all of these had to be resolved in the new engine. There are several ways to handle outlines. We tried many different things to find a method that suited Mabinogi's needs. In order to create a sensuous outline in a Mabinogi style while reducing man-hours costs, we chose the scene depth processing method, rather than simply transplanting the existing feeling, so that the color of the clothes shines through, so that the lines remain constant even when the distance increases, so that the lines disappear as the distance increases. To draw or not draw certain parts, to draw lines in translucent materials, etc., we encountered and dealt with a variety of issues. I was proud of the process of mixing and applying non-open technologies and working with character artists. As an 8-year Militian who is still working hard at Mabinogi, I was really happy to hear the news about the engine replacement. So what about the dislocated shoulder? Are all the clothes and hair moving now? In fact, after the decision to replace Unreal Engine, shoulder dislocation was one of the most heard stories. I too was eagerly hoping for this as a Militian before becoming a developer. The programmers and animation technicians put a lot of effort into this part. In the existing Mabinogi, there were insufficient examples such as shoulder dislocation. There were many shortcomings such as polygons breaking when the character moved. At Eternity, we aimed to look as natural as possible in shoulders, hips, etc. And unlike the existing Mabinogi, many bones were added to express the detailed parts of fingers. Additionally, additional bones have been set to make customization more natural. With so many bones added, it is difficult to simply port existing Mabinogi animation files. Based on the existing Mabinogi animation, additional parts such as the fingers are being worked on step by step, and the costumes are also very diverse. In a typical MMORPG projector, the bones are often set and the costume design is designed to match the position of the bones. Since Mabinogi's costumes were already available in various designs, it was necessary to match the costume to patterns. It is not possible to infinite bones, and it is difficult to animate or control a large number of bones one by one. Many experts are working hard to successfully replace the Mabinogi engine. Of course, there is still much left to do. A core part of the technical art issue has been dealt with, but in addition, there are countless elements that enrich Mabinogi, such as expressions of materials. We will do our best until the Mabinogi engine replacement is successful, and of course, we will continue to do so thereafter.